Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for Modern Survivalists. Stick around for this one. I'm going to be talking a bit about maybe one of the more controversial topics regarding the pandemic, which is vaccines. You guys that have been following my channel know that I'm pretty open-minded. I have my own opinions regarding certain things, and I don't let the different politics of this influence me one way or the other. You guys that have been following the channel for a while know that when this got started, this is the mask I was wearing. I was wearing my general service respirator with a raincoat, hood. I looked like the damn Reaper out there. My wife told me when those first days I was going out buying stuff and such, what do people tell you? Not a damn thing. No one approached me. No one said a word. No one even whispered. Even, I remember, even cops were like, what the fuck is going on with this guy? And everyone just kept like a huge distance from me, and I was perfectly fine with that because I'm simply that way. I don't really care what people that I don't even know think about me. I just try to use logic and reason and make the best decision for me and my family. So at a time when we had the damn plague going on and we just didn't know what was happening, we just didn't know how bad it was, how quickly it was spreading, what type of virus we were dealing with, how dangerous it was, the type of spread that we were talking about. I just took maximum precaution, and maximum precaution for me was gloves, real gas mask, and covering myself as much as humanly possible. That's how I went down into the world. Of course, you adapt different things. I still take lots of precautions when I think it's needed. I guess that's the key word, using my own logic, my own common sense, and applying that to what I believe makes sense, right? And I talked about this before many times. Now, in terms of the vaccine, maybe that's one of the more controversial things because, well, there's an entire industry around all of this, which does not like some contrary opinions about them. Even here in YouTube, it's a hot button topic, and man, we got pulled out of the air for talking about this. Yes, it was a combination of things we were saying, and I understand how the algorithm and such, but it is still a very delicate topic. Now, having said that, there's a responsibility here, and I'm no doctor. You have to consult your medical professional, the people you trust, but there's certain information out there that makes you wonder, what should you be doing? Should you be getting this or not? Is your particular situation one in which you may want to consider getting a shot with this stuff? There's various vaccines. There's the Johnson & Johnson, there's the AstraZeneca, there's the Chinese, the Russian one. I was just watching the news from Argentina a couple days ago. A very well-known journalist over there, 71-year-old guy, so it's not a child anymore, 71-year-old, but in pretty much good shape, healthy dude. He got the Chinese shot, and 3 days later, he was just doing fine. All of a sudden, blood clot, nailed him, died. And you see this happening with different vaccines going around. So again, no doctor here, but I do have common sense. I at least like to think that I have. And what I'll talk about something else completely different. I'll talk about my dog. And a shot I got for my dog a few years ago. I was actually at the vet. There's this heartworm thing going on, from flies or mosquitoes or whatever it is that is typical for dogs and cats, I think. Leishmania it's called. Anyway, I was at the vet, and the vet told me that that she had been part of a team that had developed a vaccine for dogs, and she was telling me how consider giving your dog this one. It's quite efficient. We've been testing it for 5 years right now, and we're liking the results we're getting. It's not, of course, 100%, but it's very decent. You're getting like 70-80% protection, and after 5 years, it's something that I'm recommending. You see where I'm getting at? 5 years of testing someone on a damn dog before your vet tells you it makes sense for you to consider giving it to your dog? And we're giving this to ourselves with what? How much testing has been involved here? How much time has gone by? We've talked about this with my friend Matt so many times, but yet again, And I don't have a final answer for you guys. I just have what I do, my common sense approach thing based on the information that I have at hand. And based on the information I have at hand, I see different countries, stop using one vaccine or the other. It's giving a red light in a country, then it's giving a green light in one country, it's giving a red light in another. They stop giving it here, they continue giving it over there with different vaccines. Some seem to be a bit better than others, but man, it is really not all that much of a clear picture. So my attitude towards this is I'm a somewhat healthy, somewhat, not a child anymore, not a kid anymore, definitely not the case, but I'm still somewhat young and pretty much in good health. I don't have any condition of any kind, I don't take any kind of medication, and I try to take care of myself. That's what we do here with my family. We just try to stay as healthy as possible, all things considered. So should I get something that is, at least from where I'm looking at, kind of questionable, when my chances of getting really seriously sick with this are way below what someone in his 70s and someone with a certain condition may be looking at? Would that be the case? Well, maybe I take my chances with creating more of a natural defense to this thing, rather than going with something that is so questionables, have been tested so little, and there's still so many questions left unanswered out there. At least that's where I'm sitting right now. That's my own thing. Maybe your thing is completely different. Maybe your case is you're in a much more advanced age and you have different medical conditions that concern you a lot more, and you are looking at this and thinking, okay, maybe this is worth the risk. The Chinese vaccine, the Russian vaccine, the Johnson & Johnson, the Pfizer one, whatever it is that you're looking at, you gather your information, you make a decision, and you choose based on that. Based on my specific circumstances and my family, my wife, my kids, I just don't see it. At this point right now, I just don't see it. I do see the political aspect of this, the compliance aspect of all of this, in terms of being mandatory, something in which you're basically forced no matter what. You're stripped from the freedom, you're stripped from the liberty of choosing what's best for you, and you're being forced, because if not, you're not allowed to travel, you're not allowed to get on a damn plane, or even a bus, or go into a restaurant, or go to a gym, like it's happening in some parts of the United States, where they have in the door of the gym, you need to get a shot before you're allowed into. In a fucking gym where people are young, healthy, and working out, you need to get a shot to get in there? Based on what research, based on what data, what kind of information do you have to force people to make something like a decision like that? It just doesn't make any sense. It's about compliance. But I completely understand that, I'm an older person. I have this medical condition. I think that based on the information I have, it's worth it. But in my own case, I just don't see it. And if your case is I'm getting messages on Instagram, by the way. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing this video. My Instagram is SupervivienciaModerna. I have it over there in the links below. Same as my books, Street Survival Skills, and the Modern Survival Manual. This is actually a Spanish version. This is the English one here. It's stuff that I worked on a lot, and I think it's useful. And it's useful in times like these. I don't write... Especially, I think I wrote more in my first book about the political aspect, how the different mechanics of governments and power struggles, and forcing people to doubt themselves and question themselves, and always looking at Big Brother so as to know what's better for you. I never believed any of that. I've always thought that you are the one that is going to be making the best decision for you. Is that always the case? Well, some people... They're going against their best interest. We had a young man that was being stopped by police, and against his own best interest, he chose to fight the cops and escape, and got shot because of that. Is that person doing what's best in his own best interest? His own good judgment clearly fails him. But the moment you strip everyone from the right of choosing, then you're talking about tyranny. then you're talking about the complete opposite of freedom and liberty, which is what we should all be striving for. And yes, this is in fact something that's being used. The pandemic is being used for a political grab as well, depending on each country is used in different manners, but it is something that they've been taking advantage of, and they like that. That's why they keep on. It goes different ways in one country from another. In Canada, they took advantage of the pandemic to make a huge gun grab. No one can protest right now. There's not going to be people complaining on the streets. They have their mind set on something else. Our friend Trudeau over there, this is my moment, going for the guns. And he did. In other places, in other countries, they like the idea of compliance. Shut up and obey. But in terms of the vaccine, which I see it being pushed more and more, and basically you're being forced into it. Maybe you're not even allowed to work anymore until you get it. You see how it's getting? But if you're one of the lucky ones, if you have still the option of choosing for yourself, then at least that's the way I see it, okay? Folks, that's all for now. See you in the next video. Have an awesome day. Take care.